industrial giant, to get government back within its means, and to lighten our punitive tax burden. And these will be our first priorities, and on these principles there will be no compromise.
I can hear you. I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us.
Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
What is up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, Rage. Hello. All right. Okay, I think that microphone has just about had it. Hey, what's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Sorry for the technical difficulties right there, but here we go. Up and running live and video streaming live. RER video channel on YouTube. Go on over there and subscribe. You can also find it right there on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. In the right column, you'll see our YouTube window. There's a little bug that says live, and you can click that, and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel, and you can see my gorgeous international model face. Today's program includes Eugene Ralph of Game Changers, Texas Black Republican PAC, and an RER contributor. Glad you guys could join me. A little bit of a hiccup there, but we got it up and running, and I'm so happy that you're with me. We got a lot to cover today. Before we actually go into Texas election analysis, and I'm going to tell you right now, Saints and Patriots, no one is going to drill down into these numbers like RER research and yours truly. No one is. And it is an astonishing election. What to learn from the numbers, just the election result totals and the exit polling. Books could be written about it. I'm not going to write a book, but there's going to be a lot of commentary and a lot of sharing, and we're going to get to that. But I want to turn first to, believe it or not, international news. And around Raging Elephants Radio, if it's happening outside of Texas, let's say, I don't know, Kentucky, that would be international news to us here at Raging Elephants Radio. But I'm going to go outside of the United States, and I'm going to go to this crisis over in France, the riots that are happening over in France. And it began catching my attention, of course, during the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. These yellow-vested Parisians rioting. Mic 1 2 1 2 test 1 2 1 2 1 2 test. One two test 1 2 test. Okay, fun times at Raging Elephants Radios. Guys, sorry about this. Gonna do the best I can here. Okay, hopefully we have it fixed. Still not exactly the best connection in the world. I'll be working on this here in the break here. Okay, but I want to get to what's happening over in France, the riots over there, and these yellow-vested Parisians. I'll chop all this out later, hopefully. I'll make up for it on the tail end, hopefully. Sorry, guys. But these yellow-vested Parisians, and they are rioting, and it's about gas prices. Now, I think this is very important, because what happened in November, essentially, is the American people said, what's going on in France, the French economy is what we want. Is not that the main platform of the Democratic Party these days? We want the United States to be more like Europe. We want more democratic socialism. We want it to look like Norway, Sweden. We want it to look like France. We want this absolutely egalitarian, libertine approach to society. That's what we want. And what it's resulting in is riots in the streets in the City of Lights, beautiful Paris. This is remarkable to me because when you have this civil unrest, I wonder if the proponents of the economic principles that they're rioting against, which they voted for. That's the whole thing about it. They voted for it. When you have democratic mechanisms in place to choose your government, you get the government that you deserve. They voted for this, and now they're rioting in the streets. Now, there's a couple of articles that I want to break down. I want to share with you. But even before then, what I want to do is I want to actually share with you some video, a video report from CBS News. Now, if you're watching on the RER video YouTube channel, you kind of can see it in my studio monitor here. I'm not going to pull it up, or you can listen to the audio. But it's an amazing piece of video because this happened back in April of 2018. And I watched this live, and I was astonished at what I was looking at. This happened in the United States. The president of France, speaking before a joint session of Congress and lecturing the American people about climate change and the need of more encroachment by government to control the lives of individuals globally to stop this scourge, this threat to humanity called climate change. It's settled, said Macron. Science has settled it, said Macron. But he went on. He went further. He really, like he did here recently at the World War I centennial over in Paris, he decided to go ahead and take it to Trump. And he did it in the House of Representatives, and the Democrats just loved it. And at some points, the Republicans were all in. The Republicans were applauding as well. Anyway, I want you to listen, and I'll break it down. Here you go.
I believe in building a better future for our children, which requires offering them a planet that is still habitable in 25 years.
Now, you know how in the background, sitting behind whoever is addressing the joint session of Congress, you have the Vice President of the United States and the Speaker of the House. And when Emmanuel Macron, delivers this message, inhabitable planet in 25 years, there's Pence and Ryan standing, applauding the entire representation of United States Congress, essentially. Let's go.
Some people think that securing current industries and their jobs is more urgent than transforming our economies to meet the global challenge of climate change.
You see, he's doing the Hillary Clinton. Hillary said, what did Hillary say? Hillary said to the people of West Virginia, we're going to have to end your jobs. The coal miners, we're going to end your jobs. Obama did the same. Hey, all you guys that used to work in manufacturing, forget it. Those jobs are never coming back. Here's Macron standing before a joint session of Congress, the president of France, which the Democrats want the United States to look like, lecturing the Congress and the people of America. No, jobs are not as important as ecological, tyrannical mandates from some sort of global government. The Paris Climate Accord.
I hear these concerns, but we must find a smooth transition to a low-carbon economy.
Pence and Ryan, they're not applauding. Democrats applauding, Republicans not. This was in April 2018. The Democrats, they love it.
Because what is the meaning of our life, really? If we work and live destroying the planet while sacrificing the future of our children, what is the meaning of our life if our decision, our conscious decision.
It's an imperative. Humanity will no longer exist ever, ever. It's over. We have to do something now. Government, the scope and power of it must be expanded now, or humanity will disappear from the planet. And this is what the left does. This is always their argumentation to expand the power and scope of government. Humanity will disappear from the planet if you do not allow more governmental encroachment into your lives, controlling every aspect of every breath you take.
Is to reduce the opportunities for our children or grandchildren.
Full standing ovation. Everybody.
By polluting the oceans, not mitigating CO2 emissions, and destroying our biodiversity, we are killing our planet. Let us face it. There is no planet B.
We're killing our planet. It's always doomsday scenario. Always. We're killing our planet. Let's face it. Let's face it, saints and patriots. Emmanuel Macron, president of France, we've got to, well, he's the absolute authority. We are killing our planet. The little frog is going to tell us we are killing our planet. What are you going to do about it, United States? Are you going to follow us? Oh, there's Spartacus.
On this issue, it may happen we have disagreements.
We have disagreements.
Between the United States and France. It
Really?
may happen.
Really?
Like in all families.
Really?
But that's, for me, a short-term disagreement. On the long run, we will have to face the same realities, and we're just citizens of the same planet.
Citizens
So we
of
will
the
have
world.
to face it. So beyond some short-term disagreements, we have to work together. With business leaders and local communities, let us work together in order to make our planet great again and create new jobs and new opportunities while safeguarding our Earth.
Let's make the planet great again. And look at the Republicans standing. Look at the Republicans that are standing. Let's make our planet great again. Make our planet. How do you do that? Poor government.
And I'm sure one day the United States will come back and join the Paris Agreement. And I'm sure
one day, little black boys and little black girls will join hands with little white boys and little white girls. We're having church up in here. We're having church.
And I'm sure we can work together
Glory.
to fulfill with you the ambitions of the Global Compact on the environment.
Unbelievable, if you ask me. Totally unbelievable. That's Emmanuel Macron, okay? President of France. You got to come back to the Paris Accord. You got to come back. Hey, look, you signed it. You got to come back to it. Now look at what is happening over in Paris. This guy comes over here, lectures us. This is what you got to do. And his approval ratings are that of about CNN, okay? In his first term, this dude is tanking. But he's going to come over here back in April and tell us what we need to be doing. Eugene Ralph is on this program. I'm still not done with this because maybe you haven't been following this story. Because this is where the Democratic Party wants to take us. This story is extremely important because what's going on right now in France, why they are rioting, is what the Democrats want for Texas. Not just for America, specifically for Texas. And boy, they came just a tad bit closer after the November 6th midterms. You got to hang around. I'm going to give it all to you. Sorry about the technical problems. Hope they're straightened out. But I'm going to give you the whole story. You're going to get a full program. I guarantee you that. Raging Elephants Radio, your Texas network. It's no secret about the censorship that big technology companies are practicing as we speak. Are there ways to get around this? For us at Raging Elephants Radio and for you, the Raging Elephants Radio app is the way to do that. It gives us direct communication to you with no middleman. No Facebook, no Google, no Twitter. Raging Elephants Radio and you in direct connection. No interception. Beat the censorship. Download the Raging Elephants Radio app.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate sermons.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below-market rates with above-market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down. See the share icon? Hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas Patriots. Give a testimony in 160 characters. Send. iOS device folks, do the equivalent through the App Store. Let's get it viral. RER app.
You're enjoying Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Still to come on today's program, Eugene Ralph of Game Changers and Texas Black Republican PAC, also a Raging Elephants radio contributor. Now, we got a lot to go through. I'm having fun talking about all of this. I'm sorry if you don't have a political talk show and you have things to get off your chest. I feel sorry for you. Because I know there's things that you want to get off your chest, and you don't have a show. You don't have a program. And I do. So I'm having a blast when I'm doing this. I just want everybody to know that. I want to clear that up. I just want to put that down for the record. I'm having a blast when I do this. We got a lot to break down. I'm having fun breaking down. It's going to take weeks, perhaps even months to reap the full harvest of this November 6th election. Really unbelievable information. Just fascinating to me. I'm just wonky like that. And that's where I'm going with it as far as the analysis. Straight numbers, throw my opinion and commentary in there, and my consultation at no charge. But I think this whole France story is something that we as Texans need to look at, because the Democratic Party here in Texas are advocates of this civil unrest that's happening right now in France. And you heard Macron, Emmanuel Macron, president of France, in April, come over here and want to lecture us about this is what the United States needs to do. You need to follow us. And we're talking about France. We're not talking about Venezuela. We're not talking about Hugo Chavez, Maduro, Venezuela. No toilet paper. We're talking about France. And when you listen to the jackasses, they would like to make some sort of distinction between what's going on in Venezuela, the civil unrest and shortages, to the European nations. Oh, but look how wonderful the European nations are. If you just take socialism and you apply it sensibly, you get a wonderful country like Norway. You get a wonderful country like Great Britain with the NHS, the National Health Service, which is absolutely awful. Now, what are they rioting about? From Vox. There's a couple articles I want to go through here. This one is from Vox. Thousands in France are protesting gas taxes and their president. Subtitled, People in Yellow Vest are deeply unhappy with Emmanuel Macron. This is from Vox. Thousands of French police fired tear gas and used water cannons against protesters who were destroying shops and lighting fires along Paris's Champs-Élysées this weekend. Oh, sounds like Tijuana. Sounds like Tijuana. That's what it sounds like. People were protesting fuel taxes. But the demonstrators are also an indication of growing amnesty toward French President Emmanuel Macron. So, see, the logic of the jackasses here in the United States is that if you elect somebody of the ilk of an Emmanuel Macron, you know, a Kamala Harris, a Spartacus, a Beto the Punk, that things are going to become so much better, because Emmanuel Macron is the poster boy of what democratic socialism is supposed to look like. He's going to be the savior of France. He's going to make the planet great again. That's what he just told us. That's what I just played for you. That's what he said before a joint session of Congress in which everybody, including Pence and Ryan, stood and applauded. Make the planet great again. And they're rioting against Macron. Tea Party never rioted against anybody. Well, we didn't like Barack Hussein Obama, but we never rioted. We didn't do any property damage. We didn't bomb anybody. The Vox article continues. Nearly 20 people, including police, were injured in Saturday's skirmish, which could cost the city $1.7 million. It's one of the most dramatic moments in more than a week of demonstrations that have led to a total of about 400 injured and at least one death. Over what? Gas taxes. The protest started around November 17 when French drivers sporting yellow vests led a demonstration of about 280,000 people across the country to push back against rising taxes on gas and diesel. Spoiler alert, the yellow vest. The next article I'm going to get to. The yellow vest, they're mandated by the government. You have to have these yellow vests. And so protesters are donning these yellow vests. You have to have these yellow vests. Sort of like, I don't know, you have to buy health insurance. You have to have these yellow vests. You have to buy them. Has to be in every automobile. So the protesters wearing these yellow vests. Macron, as part of his many economic reforms, announced the gas taxes earlier this year to minimize France's reliance on fossil fuels. The tax will increase the price of fuel by about 30 cents per gallon and will continue to rise over the next few years. The French government says gas already cost about $7.06 per gallon in France. Let me say it again, Saints and Patriots. The great democratic socialist pro-ecology economy of France that the Democrats just absolutely glow over. They point to, look at this wonderful economy. The gas cost $7.06 per gallon. How much did you pay for your last tank of gas? I saw this past week, driving down from Dallas back to Houston, a QT fuel station, gas station on the side of the freeway, where you know the gas is most expensive, $1.99. $1.99 in France. This fantastic country that the Democrats, the jackasses, want us to be like. Gas is $7.06, and the new gas tax will be 30 cents more per gallon. Just impose it right now, $7.36 per gallon. But you have to do it. You see, you have to do it because if you don't, all humanity will perish. You have to do it because we're killing the planet. And the jackass Democrats of the United States, and more importantly, Texas, these are the policies that they want to bring to us. And we're saying we're not having it. We're not having it. The only way out may be out. The only way out may be Texas independence. We're not having it. Macron tells, maybe one of these days the United States will come back to the Paris Climate Accord. For $7.36 a gallon gasoline? I don't think so.
Green Air technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner.
The only way out.
Bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Information, communication, action. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
No, we have to hammer these socialists. We can't give them any breathing room. We got to give it to them straight, no chaser. We got to get right in their grill. We've got to get more aggressive. Listen, we're going to talk about the elections and all of that, but the thing is this from a 30,000-foot view, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat that the Democrats, the jackasses, are on the offense, and the Republicans at every level, they're playing defense. They're in the fetal position. They really are acting like a bunch of weenies. The Republicans. No matter how much spine President Trump is demonstrating, the Republicans are basically fetal position, thumb in mouth, going weenie. And the Democrats are on offense. And if they continue to win, even here in Texas, what's going on in France is going to come here to Texas. This is why I'm focusing in on this. This is not trivial, because this essentially is the platform of the Democrats. This is why it's so crazy to me. These so-called learned children in American universities, don't they have, with all the resources of information that they have available to them, they still find the argumentation, the principles of Fluffy Cortez to be attractive. They want to implement them. They still want to implement crazy Bernie's ideas when the end results are right there in front of their eyes, and yet they march to the polling booth, to the ballot box, and they vote for this insanity. I don't trust the American voter. I do not trust the Democrat jackasses. I don't want them having not one inkling of influence over my life. I want them politically extinct from the political battlefield. They're awful. Their policies are nothing but steal, kill, and destroy. Here's the French over there rioting over $7.36 per gallon gasoline. I'd be rioting too, probably. My goodness, really? For the sake of humanity. This is from the BBC. France fuel protest. Macron drives ahead amid unrest. The so-called yellow vest protests have seen thousands take to the streets across France over fuel prices, but Macron struck a conciliatory tone, saying he was open to ideas and revisiting how the fuel tax was applied. He didn't say repeal the fuel tax. He didn't say change his mind. Let's just talk about how we're going to apply it. He also announced that France would close all coal power stations by 2022, along with a number of nuclear plants. Where are they going to get their power from? I guess they're going wave power. I guess there's going to be windmills all over the Loire Valley, I guess. I don't know. All along Normandy, along the English Channel, there's going to be windmills. In a speech on Tuesday, Mr. Macron said, quote, "I am not confusing the rioters with citizens who want to convey a message. I sympathize with my fellow citizens, but I will not give in to violence." He said, quote, "You cannot be pro-environment on Monday and then when Tuesday comes, be against rising fuel prices." Amen, Emmanuel Macron. You are absolutely right. You make my point for me. These folks voted for it. Where democratic mechanisms are in place to choose government, these people voted for this. You said, Emmanuel Macron says to the French, you said you wanted policies that deal with environmental concerns. We told you what we were going to do. You voted for us anyway. You can't vote for me and then be against higher fuel prices. He came to the U.S. Congress, Emmanuel Macron, and he said, no. These environmental controls imposed upon us by government are more important than jobs, the ability for human beings to sustain themselves. That's what he said before the United States Congress. And people stood and applauded. And Nimnongs across the United States voted for these asinine entities. You cannot be pro-environment on Monday and then when Tuesday comes, be against rising fuel prices. That's a quote from Emmanuel Macron. Can you hear Bernie saying that? Can you hear Fluffy Cortez saying that? Can you hear Spartacus saying that? Can you hear Hillary, Kamala, Gillibrand? Can you hear any of them? Can you hear Uncle Joe saying that? Any Democrat. Van Jones can say that. Barack Hussein Obama. Michelle the Butch Obama. Hey, you can hear any Democrat coming with that line. But in a concession, Macron said the controversial tax could be adjusted when fuel prices soared to ease the burden on motorists. Government going to come in and control the prices. He pointed to decades of French policy encouraging citizens to move farther from cities and travel by road. Quote, "We pushed them into this situation. They are the victims of this situation. They have not created it." End of quote. The government-controlled population movement. That's what Macron says. So the response is more population movement control. No, stay right where you are. Just pile people on top. I mean, make Paris look like Hong Kong or Singapore. You got to pile people on top of each other. Shanghai, there isn't enough land. You just got to pile people up in high-rise shanties. That's what they are. High-rise slums, high-rise shanties. Just pile people on top of each other. And so they can come down. The elevators won't work, but so they can walk all the way down to 50 stories and get a toy train to work, or get on their bicycles. And I guess they could wear black pajamas, like a revolutionary China. Quote, we should listen to the social alarm and protests, but there is also an environmental alarm. End of quote. Emmanuel Macron. That's a few more points I want to get to here. Top of the hour, I will turn to Texas politics, but I want you to understand the heart of the Democratic Party. This is the heart and soul of the Democratic Party agenda. This is what they want to bring to Texas, and the GOP is losing ground.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Get to know Texas politics. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Gonna have a fun conversation with my fellow ultra-conservative soul brother, Eugene Ralph, a little bit later on. They're rioting over in France. over fuel prices. We're not talking about Venezuela. We're not talking about Cuba, North Korea, China. We're not talking about some country in the heart of Africa. We're talking about France. Super civilized France. I'm reading this article here from the BBC. And isn't it wonderful that the BBC and Vox and others, because the riots are going on, they have to cover it. They have to. They're forced to. The article says France is heavily dependent on nuclear power, which Mr. Macron pledged to reduce to 50% of the national energy mix by 2035 by closing 14 of the country's 58 reactors. None, however, will be closed before 2022, with the exception of Fessenheim on the German border. That is top of the closure of all 4 of France's remaining coal-fired power plants, an investment of billions of euros into renewable energy. Mr. Macron's approval rating has fallen steadily in recent months. Oh, it's lower than CNN's. With his deeply unpopular fuel tax increase adding to his political woes. The Yellow Vest rallies were originally about fuel tax increases. Protesters donned the yellow vest required to be carried in every vehicle by law and blocked roads, causing widespread traffic jams. But the protests have now spread to encompass rising anger at high taxes and living costs and span the entire political spectrum, even the far right, which the government blamed for violence in Paris at the weekend. Of course, there's always the right. It's the Tea Partiers. It's the French Tea Partiers. That's who the thugs are. This says it covers the entire political spectrum. Those protests saw the famous Champs-Élysées packed with 5,000 people, with thousands more spread across the rest of the capital. Tear gas and a water cannon were used to disperse crowds after barricades were erected on the capital's streets, and a small number of protesters tried to break a security cordon. Most demonstrators have remained peaceful, but one person died during the protests when they were struck by a panicked driver. A few days later, a motorcyclist was also killed when they were hit by a van making a sudden turn in the traffic chaos. But Mr. Macron is also facing opposition from the political class. On Tuesday, 12 of France's 13 regional leaders called on Mr. Macron to reconsider the fuel tax. In the letter, published in French newspaper L'Opinion, the regional presidents called for a moratorium on the tax, writing that it would be a, quote, serious mistake, end of quote, to characterize the widespread protest as an extremist movement. Instead, they wrote, it was indicative of widespread anger of citizens forced to live further and further from their place of work and spend more on travel. The collected presidents also added that they were not against environmental taxes, but rather in favor of taking the time to improve the proposals. After his Tuesday speech, Mr. Macron's political opponents decried what they described as a lack of action. Far-right national leader Marine Le Pen said the president's words were, quote, devoid of any solutions, end of quote, and the only thing he had convinced her of was the need for change. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, on the left of the leftist France Unbowed group, labeled the speech, quote, an hour of noise, end of quote, without any answers, while socialist Olivier Faure wrote that the president, quote, says that he hears the complaints but does not understand, end of quote. He's right. I agree with Macron. This is the government the French people elected. Is it not? This is the government the French people elected. Macron said, look, you elected me on Monday. Don't be complaining on Tuesday. Promises made, promises kept. And Macron comes to the United States back in April, and he gives us a lecture, and you've got government officials, provincial presidents, you've got the yellow-vested protesters, the proletariat of France rising up and saying, we don't want to pay $7.36 a gallon for gasoline. And some of these other taxes and some of these other policies. Hey, you French morons, this is what you voted for. This is what you get. The malaise that we had in the United States after the Great Recession, we got it because of who the people of the United States elected. Barack Insane Obama. Donald Trump gets elected president, uses populist economic principles, not conservative, not by a long shot, populist economic principles. And Obama was so bad, Democratic policies are so bad, that only improvement could happen. Just the release of a minimal of restraint would allow the economy to muscle up a bit, and the people vote against it. They put the leftist, socialist jackasses back in charge of the purse strings, the United States Congress. The American people, biblically defined fools. And the Republicans are just a bunch of feckless weenies. And the Democrats are literally saying, this is what we want to implement. What you see over here in France, this is what we want to implement, and the people vote for it. And think about Arizona. Jeff Flake quits. Jeff Flake quits. The Flake, that's what he is. Senator The Flake quits. And they elect Sinema to take his place. My goodness. We're talking about France. We're not talking about Venezuela. And this is what Fluffy Cortez and Crazy Bernie and Spartacus and Mad Max and Sherrod Brown and Uncle Joe and Hillary Clinton. Mark Penn says, hey, she's going to come back. She's going to be a firebrand liberal. Or she's coming back full Alinsky. Hillary's coming back full Alinsky to go after the nomination again. She's going full Hugo. She's going full Fidel to get the nomination. If they want to go left, Hillary's going to show them how to go left. She's going full Fidel. She's going full Tito. Macron comes over here and lectures the American people, and he's got riots in the street. I saw gas $1.99 on I-45 right there around Ennis. A QT gas station, regular unleaded, $1.99. And for the sake of humanity, so every man, woman, and child and chipmunk won't die, you are supposed to agree to pay $7.36 a gallon. Oh, please, please, please. I know he's not black, but I gotta go ahead and do it. I got to say it anyway. Yeah, I know he's not black, but I gotta say it anyway. Negro, please.
Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now
with RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com. What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Texas independence. Have you ever thought about it? What exactly does it mean, or is it even possible? Sam Houston said,
Texas will raise her head among the nations.
Was he a dreamer or a prophet? You can get the answers to these questions in the book Lying in the Sand by Daniel Miller. Doc Green says it's required reading for every Texan. Lying in the Sand by Daniel Miller gives you the information you need to be prepared to give an answer to anyone that asks. As a Raging Elephants Radio listener, you are the go-to person for your friends.
RagingElephantRadio.com.
This book is more than a good read. It will equip you to reach others while pursuing a better future for your family. Get your copy now by clicking on the link on RagingElephantRadio.com.
RagingElephantRadio.com.
That's RagingElephantRadio.com. Since a portion of the proceeds goes to support Raging Elephants Radio, it may be time for you to cross that line in the sand.
That line in the sand. RagingElephantRadio.com.
It's no secret about the censorship that big technology companies are practicing as we speak. Are there ways to get around this? For us, the Raging Elephants Radio, and for you, the Raging Elephants Radio app is the way to do that. It gives us direct communication to you with no middleman. No Facebook, no Google, no Twitter. Raging Elephants Radio and you in direct connection. No interception. Beat the censorship. Download the Raging Elephants Radio app.
Take us wherever you go. Raging Elephants Radio, streaming on your computer, tablet, and smartphone.
In this hour, Eugene Ralph, my fellow ultra-conservative soul brother, got a text from Daniel Miller, this whole French situation. Daniel says, once again, France surrenders to Germany. That good old EU. The only way out is out. Hey, I should have been hyping this the whole time, and I forgot to do so. My bad. I have the numbers for fiscal year 2018 and the border invasion. And I have to say this right here. Who's been saying it's an invasion for 5 years? Raging Elephants Radio. Since we came on the stream for the very first time in September the 9th, 2013, we have been calling what's going on at the southern border an invasion. Have we not? Now everybody is calling it an invasion. I think tomorrow or Friday, I'm gonna pull out that video from our 5th anniversary program the amazing Doc Green and yours truly got together, dynamic duo, and we used the word invasion. You guys, as regular listeners of Raging Elephants Radio, as rabid supporters, members of the herd, you have heard us call what's going on the southern border, especially the Texas international border with Mexico, an invasion. And back on the 5th, I gave you the numbers up to that moment, September, up to the moment of the number of border apprehensions. That means they've come across. They're in Texas, just Texas alone. What those numbers were up to that point. Okay, now I've got all the numbers for fiscal year 2018, and it is shocking. Shocking. I just think it's apropos to bring these numbers up now with what's going on in Tijuana. What's going on in Tijuana, that the whole caravan thing, I still say, by the way, I digress just a little bit, but I am on subject here. I still say the caravans should be named like hurricanes, so we know which caravans we're talking about. There's so many caravans ahead in our way. So just like when we were tracking hurricanes in the Atlantic Basin to know which ones we're talking about, we should have, Caravan Adam, and then Caravan Betty, and then Caravan Chuck, and then, Caravan David, and then Caravan Eric, and then, or Erica. You could go male, female, or female, male, female, male, female. You could go, but you need to name these caravans. That's what you need to do. So I think it's apropos to, at this moment, go through the total numbers, and I'm going to post it at Raging Elephants Radio, the total numbers for FY 2018, and I'm giving you these numbers, and this is just Texas. Now, I want to go to some sound. I want to remind you of what Brandon Judd, you guys see him on the Foxies all the time. Brandon Judd, National Border Patrol Council, what he says about their success in apprehending the invaders. We're not talking about the caravans. We're talking about just the normal, everyday invasion by those south of the border. Wait a minute. Did you guys see the interview? It may have been from somebody on the Foxies. Or it could have been Communist News Network. Could have been. Any one of them. And they were interviewing a guy from Cameroon. This guy... Cameroon and Guatemala aren't on the same continent. What is a guy from Cameroon doing in the midst of Caravan Andrew? Cameroon. Brother was darker than dark chocolate. Brother was not, we're not even talking about Panamanian. We're not talking about Honduran. We're not talking about black Brazilian. Dude is from Cameroon. Are you kidding me? Brandon Judd.
Yeah, well, after he was elected, the numbers went down. They called it the Trump effect, and now we're back up to something like 600,000 arrests a year, about 50,000 a month. That's just who is caught crossing the border, according to the numbers. Do we know how many people are getting by?
We don't know exactly the numbers that get by, but we do have an estimation. Border Patrol agents go out and we do count what we call gotaways. Unfortunately, if you look at it, Border Patrol agents will tell you that we're probably about 50 to 60% effective. So between 40 and 50% of those people that cross the border illegally are still getting away from us. So we arrest 50,000, but 50,000 are getting by, and that should be extremely concerning. But again, all you have to do is look at the failed operations and policies. When we're only deploying, the Washington Times did a great article 2 or 3 months ago where they reported that McAllen, our busiest Border Patrol station, was only deploying about 12.5% of our resources on the border. That's just not going to get it done.
No, it's not going to get it done. Okay, let's go through these numbers. Put on your seatbelts, Saints and Patriots. I'm going to go through all 12 months of fiscal year 2018. This is per the website of National Homeland Security. This is their section website for Border Patrol, Border Protection, and and Customs, or what? The Border Patrol. This is what they say. So even if they fudge the numbers, keep these numbers in mind, and keep in mind what Brandon Judge said. It's a 50-50 proposition. That if they're catching 50,000, that means 50,000 got away. FY 2018 began October 1 of 2017, ended September 30th, 2018. October 2017. Total apprehensions just in Texas, the 5 border sectors of Texas, Saints and Patriots. That would be Big Bend, Del Rio, El Paso, Laredo, and Rio Grande. 15,527. November of 2017, apprehensions in Texas. Just in Texas, 17,670. December 2017, 17,278. January 2018, 15,013. February 2018, 16,163. These are apprehensions. Just in the 5 border sector regions. This is just Texas. 15,000, 16,000. March 2018, 22,743. April 2018, 24,293. May 2018, 26,440. In March, you got 22,000. In April, you got 24,000. In May, you have 26,000. I mean, you're getting close to 1,000 a day. That's what you're getting close to, 1,000 a day that are apprehended. June 2018, another 22.7 thousand apprehended just in Texas. July 2018, another 20.5 thousand apprehended. August 2018, 25.2 thousand apprehended. And finally, September 2018, going into the November elections, the home stretch, right after Labor Day, the busiest month for apprehensions in the Lone Star State, 26,775. Get ready for this number, Saints and Patriots. Get ready for this number. Of course, I made a spreadsheet on it. You got the total sum. I can work an Excel spreadsheet enough to get like a column sum. You add up each individual month, October 2017 to September 2018, total number of apprehensions just in Texas, according to the government, according to the Trump administration, 250,342. It's an invasion. Since 2013, Raging Elephants Radio has been saying it's an invasion. We continue to say it's an invasion. You know, back on that 5th anniversary program with Doc Green, when I shared the up-to-date numbers at that time, I made this point. The U.S. and Allied forces on D-Day, only numbered 156,000 just on D-Day. The surges of both Iraq and Afghanistan combined were only 250,000 combat military personnel in theater. And the number apprehended in FY 2018, just in Texas, the 5 border sectors, is equal to that, 250,000. And according to Brandon Judd of the National Border Patrol Council, you got to double it because it's only a 50-50 proposition that you're catching everybody. 500,000, 500,000 invaders. What is the purpose of invasion? Conquest. To control your government, your society, and your culture. That's exactly what's happening. 500,000 invaders just in Texas alone. The only way out may be out. It's no secret about the censorship that big technology companies are practicing as we speak. Are there ways to get around this? For us, the Raging Elephants Radio, and for you, the Raging Elephants Radio app is the way to do that. It gives us direct communication to you with no middleman. No Facebook, no Google, no Twitter. Raging Elephants Radio and you in direct connection. No interception. Beat the censorship. Download the Raging Elephants Radio app.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's B-E-E-D-E AC and Heat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElephantsRadio.com. What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
In just a few moments, it's going to be my ultra-conservative soul brother, Eugene Ralph. You can't squeeze out any more white people for the Republican Party in the Texas electorate. You just can't do it. There's no more white people. There's not enough white people to keep the Republican Party in the winner's circle. You just have to face it. The Republican Party is going to have to, first of all, get on the offensive. The numbers show it. And the other thing that really is astonishing to me, for all the hullabaloo about Greg Abbott, he doesn't have any coattails. He didn't help down ticket at all. We're going to get into all of that in coming days, coming programs, coming articles. Make Raging Elephants Radio your homepage so you can see all the news that's happening in Texas. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to the RER Video YouTube channel where you can see my beautiful face right now. International model quality. RER Video YouTube channel. You can go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com, scroll down the right column. You see the little live button right there. You can click on that. I've been told by those who love me that I'm quite attractive and that I should do video, and I'm doing it, although I can't stand video. I love radio, can't stand. Love audio, can't stand video. I'm doing it by popular demand. People are all upset about this whole invasion that's going on over in Tijuana. It goes on daily in the Lone Star State. It goes on daily in McAllen. It goes on daily in Del Rio. It goes on daily in Brownsville, Laredo, Rio Grande City. Daily. 250,3 thousand apprehensions. This is before the implementation of catch and detain by Donald Trump. This is still catch and release policies. We're just learning about catch and detain. If it's going to be allowed to be implemented, to be enforced. 250.3 thousand. In the previous segment, did you hear me tell you that if you combine the number of U.S. troops during the surges of Afghanistan and Iraq in the Bush and Obama administrations, you get to 250,000. And there are those on the left, the biggest bullies of them all, who now want to bully us and say, you cannot call it an invasion. You tell me, when you look at the numbers, is it an invasion or is it not an invasion? This is your argument when the left says, oh, you're being insensitive. You're being xenophobic when you say it's an invasion. Well, you tell me. 1/3, maybe even a half, I think, of the French coastline was invaded by 156,000 U.S. and Allied troops on D-Day. 156,000. Apprehended, 250.3 thousand. These are the numbers from the Trump administration. Even if they want to fudge the numbers to make it look like Jeff Sessions and Kristen Nielsen were doing something, these numbers are still horrible. It could be worse. A 50-50 proposition, says Brandon Judd of the Border Patrol Council. So potentially we could be looking at more than 500,000, 500,000, just crossing the 5 border sectors, the 1,254 miles of Texas border with Mexico. Are you kidding me? And you have politicians like Dan Patrick or even Greg Abbott talking about, oh, well, we're spending $1.8 billion, 0.5% of total Texas governmental expenditures on the books by budget, $1.8 billion. $1.8 billion. Didn't Jerry's World cost about that? Didn't, like, AT&T Stadium, didn't Jerry's World cost about $1.8 billion? 0.5% of Texas government expenditures. These guys don't care about border security. Appreciate what the president is doing, sending the military down there, but how long has it been when Texans here, when Raging Elephants Radio has been saying, Doc Green has been saying, send the military to the border? It's an invasion. It's an attempt to conquer. The purpose of invasion, to control our economy, control our government, and to control our culture. Precisely what is attempting, what is actually going on. These people they're bum rushing the border. And they're going to come in and say, where's my voter registration card? Where's my driver's license? Where is my free entrance into an institute of higher education? Where is it? Where is my welfare check? Where is my government cheese? Where is my Obama phone? Where is my Obama care? Where is it? I'm here. Because you say, jackasses and rhinos alike, you say that because I am born, I have a right to be in the United States of America. I have a right. I have a right. I have a right to be. What is my asylum? I'm Poe. That's my asylum. That's my reason. I'm Poe. The Lord Jesus says you will always have the poor among you. They'll always be here. I'm Poe. Let me in here. Don't go anywhere. Just having fun talking Texas Liberty 411. Eugene Ralph is up next.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver and I own a high performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product. This is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECD is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing. No one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens,
of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and a choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Texas-centric radio for Texans in the know. RagingElephantRadio.com.
His name is Eugene Ralph, and he's with Game Changers. That's CHAIN, Game
Don't
Changers. And boy, there's some chains that need to be broken. GameChangers.org. But most recently, and very excited to be a part of Texas Black Republican PAC, is my fellow ultra-conservative soul brother, Eugene Ralph. Welcome back, Eugene. Good to hear your voice again, my brother.
Hello, my brother. Good to be back.
How was your Thanksgiving, my man?
It was very full, man. How about you?
There's a reason why the Bible says gluttony is a sin, because it ends up in great pain.
Well, fortunately, I didn't eat to that degree.
Eugene Ralph of Texas Black Republicans PAC. I want to talk to you about that. But have you had a chance to do any more digging as far as the numbers were concerned from the November 6th election? I know that you've been listening to the analysis here on RER and the exit polling that we were able to find and share, and what it says about potentially blacks voting their values and voting Republican. You got to have it now, man. Simply aren't enough white folks left to grow the Republican voting base to win elections here in Texas. We had some really close calls. I mean, you were right there in your backyard in Dallas. I mean, Stickland was close, Krause close, Tinderholt close, Jeff Leach close, Jonathan Booth lost, even the Rhinos, Linda Coop lost. Matt Rinaldi. So it didn't matter where on the Republican spectrum they were beaten. And in these urban areas, these cities are diverse, and white people in some instances aren't even the plurality anymore. What do you say?
You have that fact, but you also have the fact that the Republican Party can't count on the white vote like they used to. There's a lot of white liberals who have moved into Dallas County, especially in the city of Dallas, and they're actually moving into some of these suburban areas as well. And I'll say young white liberals, and you also have the millennials who have been indoctrinated to believe a lot of the garbage that they're buying into. You combine that with the lack of effort that's been made in the minority, getting the minority vote, then you basically have a losing ticket. And the thing is, what we've been stressing for a long time is what needs to take place is something that's referred to as cultivation, where you begin, I would say, if not now, I would say the first of the year, and for the next year and a half, you're making your case to minority voters, particularly black voters, why it is that the better choice is the Republican Party. I would say you make your case based on policy, you make your case based on factual information, And this is the time where people can digest and process the information you're giving them without a lot of emotion, where they can actually, they're not being conflicted by things that they're hearing from other places. They're able to think it through and come to some reasonable conclusions. And by the time the election rolls around, they're either going to be a solid voter or potentially even an advocate for the things that you're promoting. So, you can win them completely over to your side. And so that's the thing we've been promoting for years, the idea that that's what the party needs to do. And as you and I have discussed before, the individual organizations like Game Changers and RagingElephants.org and some other organizations have worked to do this over the years. But as we've seen in this election, this is a much greater effort that needs to be made, and it needs to be made from the party level, because the Democrat Party, regardless of what the other outside organizations do, the Democrat Party does that work, and the Republican Party have failed to do that work. They've neglected to do that work. In the past, they've just written it off for whatever reason. And I think now that this has happened, at least some people within the party seem to be waking up to the fact that they need to change the way they operate. And so I'm hoping that that's going to inspire them to put the investment in where it needs to be, in actually moving us forward in trying to reach these minority, particularly the black population, with the solid conservative message.
Okay, Eugene, so let me ask you this. A couple of things. First point, it sounds to me as if you are an advocate that what should be implemented is a 24/7, 365, all the time normality, nominal program of engagement with the communities of color. Penetrate as aggressively as you possibly can, and don't do it as simply during an election cycle, something that the members of the board of the Texas Black Republican PAC have been advocating in our advocacy, in our work since the very beginning, that it should be something done by the party all the time without any ceasing. That's number one.
Exactly.
Number two, you agree with Daniel Miller. I just put up a video at RagingElephantsRadio.com on RER video and on our Facebook page, Facebook.com/RagingElephantsRadio, a video of a conversation I had with Daniel Miller. He said, the Democrats, when it comes to building infrastructure, especially around a popular candidate like Beto, they are much more able to build an infrastructure than the Republicans are able to. And that seems like you two guys are really in concurrence there, because you're saying the very same thing. Now, you're focusing on what needs to be done in the communities of color, and Daniel is speaking generally the impotence of the RNC and the Texas GOP, but it works hand in hand. It works it works together. This lack of ability or focus or neglect or whatever you want to call it. Your thoughts, Eugene?
Yeah, I think he's hitting the and that is in part because of what's been taking place within the party. I would say over the last, I don't know, you can go back as far as maybe say that last 10 or 15 years. What's been taking place is that the people at the top of the party, they want a certain type of control, and many of the grassroots in the party, we want to drive this thing to the right. And what's been happening because of the strife that's been happening within the party, even when the grassroots get a hold of it, they don't do what they ask us to do. They ask us, the rhinos ask us, well, at the general election, we want you to just vote Republican. We've done that a number of times. We weren't satisfied with the result. We got involved. We got our people elected. And so what they did, they sabotaged us. They joined the left in order to sabotage us. And so a lot of what you saw, it's at every level. It's a slightly different faction of when you break it down. But I would say a lot of what you saw, if you're going to just kind of throw it in one mix, is basically the rhinos sitting out, in some cases actually joining the left to defeat our people. We have a group here that's got started up here. We're going to have to Rule 44 this guy. He's a Mesquite ISD official, and he also is the precinct chair. And his name is Robert Seward, Seward. Robert Seward. This little punk, along with Bob Dole, put together an organization called something about Texas First Coalition, and they systematically endorsed against Jonathan Booth, Deanna Metzger, and Matt Rinaldi, and several other, I think it was 5 people they endorsed against up here, who are all Republicans. And these are Republicans that actually put this organization together. They endorsed the Democrats over the Republicans. And I'm saying is this is an example of the kind of things we have happening. In addition to that, we have these soft Republicans, what I call these kind of mushy people that really irritate me. They don't stand for anything. And so what happens is, in an ordinary situation, they'll win because people are going to vote for them. But in a hardcore war-type situation like what we just went through, they are never going to win because they don't stand for anything. And you know, the thing that irritates me about many of the honchos within the party, the ones who get to call the shots, is they have this mealy-mouse attitudes as far as going after the minority vote. When we talk to them about going after the vote on issues, hard issues, they always give us the, oh, well, you know, worried about offending somebody. My point is this, look, you're not going to get anywhere not offending somebody. The bottom line is when you're right about something, you out here, you make your case, and you know, you let the chips fall where they may. The bottom line is the people who are looking for leadership, the people who are looking for a better way, at least are going to consider what you have to say, but you have to give it time to process, time to get through and get in there. You can't do this stuff 6 months out from an election and think you're going to have that kind of success. It just don't work that way. These people working on the Beto campaign, they didn't just start 6 months out. 6 months out, they did a measurement. They looked at what happened in the primary and they say, okay, this is what we need to do in order to win. And they made the adjustments. But these people started a year and a half ago working on the Beto campaign, and while the Republican leadership and many of the Republican activists and whoever were sitting around laughing at this guy, they were making inroads. And people like us who are on the ground were constantly saying, look, I'm seeing all these Beto signs popping up. There's got to be something to this. Somebody has to be knocking on these doors to get these people to put these signs out, okay?
Hold up, Eugene. I got to take a break right there. I mean, Beto had so much money. Beto had so much money to burn, even I got stuff, and I hadn't voted for Democrats since 1992. We got to take a break right here. Eugene Ralph is my guest. We'll be right back, and I got to ask him some poignant questions just based on what he just said. The impotence of the GOP.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate sermons.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Texas-centric radio for Texans in the know. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Yeah, Houston Texans 8-3, loving it. Eugene Ralph is on the RER conversation line. He's a Raging Elephants radio contributor, member of the board Texas Black Republican PAC. Eugene, you were talking about how the Texas GOP, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but my interpretation is that you were kind of saying they're impotent. They're not getting the job done. And when I'm looking at the numbers, one of the things that I'm looking at, it seems very apparent to me, just looking at the ballot, looking at the numbers, that the GOP is definitely always on the defensive. And it's always as if they're playing prevent defense, if I can use sports analogy. And the Democrats are always on the offense, which makes the GOP always have to respond. And they refuse to take an offensive posture. This is something that I'm digging up here that I'm going to be discussing further in future programs, articles, videos on Raging Elephants Radio. And I'll be getting your even further analysis once we release the results of our research here, because it's going to take a long. This election was unbelievable. I haven't seen anything like this. For instance, there were 12 flips in the Texas House of Representatives, bringing the number of GOP seats down from 96 to 84. And of those 12 flips, 10 of them were women. And of the notable races, the close calls, the ones where the GOP candidate won by single digits, most of them, the challengers, were women. Connie Burton lost to a woman. We're going to be digging more into these women, these new rookies that are going to be on the jackass side of the aisle come January. The number of women that were on the ballot, the person that the candidate that beat John Culberson here, I used to be in Culberson's district. I'm not anymore. Now I live in Ben Crenshaw's district. Was a woman. They can talk about Nancy Pelosi and Year of the Woman, but here in Texas, it is so obvious that it was a planned strategy. The challengers that won in Democratic primaries, which I didn't pay attention to at all, in general election, it was woman, regardless of race, in most instances against white male. And just in the 12 flips, 10 of them were women in the Texas House of Representatives. This is the kind of weird election that it was, that they would rise from, in 2010, 2.11 total votes cast to over 4 million with Beto O'Rourke getting more votes than any other Democrat in the history of Texas, more votes than Barack Insane Obama. This is a scary proposition, Eugene. Your thoughts, especially when the point that you made, the GOP always on the defensive, being impotent, being emasculated, not being on the offensive, always on the defense. You have the floor, Eugene. What do you think about my thoughts, my observations?
Well, your observation is correct. And I'll tell you, there was a guy who I was working with his committee for a while up here at Dallas County Republican Party back a couple of years ago, and he mentioned the fact that the plan of Clay Jenkins, who is the president, what you call it, the county judge, his plan was to assist all of these black women lawyers to run for seats to displace these white male Democrats. They were taking out the white male Democrats with black females because they figured that was the safest way to retain those seats long term. That was a strategy. I heard about this over a year ago. And so basically this was before any of the primaries took place. And I started seeing in South Dallas all of these signs, these billboards popping up. If you notice, I said billboards popping up with all these black women running for different judgeships. Okay. And in the Hispanic areas, sometimes you saw more Hispanic women running but you saw minority women running for places to replace white males who were Democrats. That was going to be the first thing they wanted, because basically this works in more than one way. This also, when they go talking about old white males, they can say, oh, you got them all over on the Republican side. We don't have any over on the Democrat side. You know, the Republicans spend their time worried about...
Wait a minute. What you're saying is objective number one was get rid of the white males in the Democratic Party, number one.
Right.
And you saw it in the judgeships, but what you're saying that apparently it happened across the board in all races, especially
across the country.
It happened across the country, and it happened in legislative races at the state level, so that you had women, Hispanic women, just women in general running to get rid of the men in the Democratic Party, a woman takeover.
Right. That's right. And this was by design, because this was the plan basically to take away that argument from the Republicans, that you have old white men over here too. So basically they say, oh, you have all these old white men over here, try to paint the Republican to set up a narrative. What does the Republican do to combat? What does the Republican Party do to combat that? They don't talk about it. They just ignore it. You know, they'll say, oh yeah, look, we have some women. Look, that's not even the answer you should be even entertaining. The question should be, what? First of all, the issues, and secondly, who's qualified to deal with these issues? Because I don't care whether they wear pants or a dress. The bottom line is, if they're wrong, period. And you need to be looking to destroy them. You see, we do not have warriors on our side. We don't have people with a warrior mindset. And that's the problem. There are warriors over there. These people come to conquer. They're looking to destroy everything that makes this country great, everything that makes Texas a great state. They want to destroy it. And until these idiots get it through their thick skulls that they have to understand what they're up against and go to war with these people, we're never going to win. And you come up with all the fantastic ideas you want, until you're willing to raise the budget, fund the effort, and actually go to war with these people and do what's necessary. Understand what I said. Do what's necessary to win these elections. It's never going to happen. Because I'm telling you, man, I'm watching a disaster. You know what I'm watching here in Dallas? I'm watching a repeat of what I saw in New Orleans. Okay? Now, you want to see a disaster? Go take a look at that place. I know what I left, and I came to Dallas, and I've been concerned about that since I got involved in local politics. And I'm watching a repeat of New Orleans in Dallas County. And if once Dallas is gone, you can forget about the state of Texas, man. And it's almost there.
Dallas. It's not just Dallas. It's Denton. It's Collin. I mean, there are no more Republicans in the state house left in Travis County.
I know.
In Hayes County. In Hayes, gone. The rhinos in Hayes County, gone. The rhinos in Williamson County, gone. So Travis,
I know.
Hayes.
You know what makes you even angrier?
Gone.
You know what makes you even angrier? All the time that we had the majority, what did we not do with it? Okay? What was not done? What could have been done? There's so many things that could have been accomplished when we had the majorities both on the state level and on the federal level. They did virtually nothing. We had rhinos and saboteurs like Strauss and what's that guy from whatever is from Corsicana? Those guys sabotaging the efforts of those who are trying to promote a constitutional effort. And so here we are. I'll be honest with you, man. Our backs are up against the wall, and I hope people realize this. Abbott. The sad fact is Abbott is. I don't even know how to describe this guy politely.
He carries no coattails.
The idea of him carrying coattails, Abbott is a fraud, okay? This guy's a fraud. Abbott was selling us out on red flag laws right before the election. That's not a conservative, okay? Abbott, the first thing the best you can do, the first thing you do on the first piece of legislation ever when you get elected is universal pre-K?
Universal pre-K.
I'm like, look, this guy's a fraud. I'm going to tell you something. The Republican Party better keep a close eye on this guy because he will sell us out in the New York second. I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. $80 million. And you mean to tell me with all of this so-called effort that you put up, you couldn't do a better job than this? We're going to tell you, you know what the large part of the reason is Claver, is the people who are Republicans do not have any confidence in Abbott. I'm talking about the average rank and file voter. When we going out to these people's houses talking to them, Abbott don't excite nobody. We had to talk about Ted Cruz to get people excited.
No, man, but see, I understand that, and that's been what we've been talking about. But the fact of the matter is, the margin of victory on Abbott was greater than the margin of victory on Cruz. Okay,
that's by default. That's by default because number one, first of all, look at the candidate he's up against. Okay, he's up against a failing candidate.
Yeah, but that
woman was put up there to help to drive the Hispanic vote, and her alone, she wasn't going to do it.
But
Beto did.
That's the argument of the establishment. The argument will look to the margin of victory of Abbott versus what happened with the conservative firebrand Ted Cruz. And they'll say, no, man, we've got to go more with the Cornyn types. We got to go more with that.
I tell you what, Claver. I tell you what.
But I don't even care about D.C. I don't even care about D.C. You had a rhino right here, Ed Emmett. You had a moderate Joe Strauss type right here, Ed Emmett, county judge, got obliterated.
Exactly. That's my point.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter where you fell on the political spectrum. From Matt Rinaldi, down to Linda Coop right there in Dallas County, to Schofield down here in Harris County, another rhino, squishy rhino, to the district that I'm sitting in right now, Dwayne Bohack's district, where he won by like less than 80 votes, and these other close calls, to Tony Tinderholt close call, Jonathan Stickland close call, Matt Shaheen close call. I mean, all these Liberty Movement guys close call. To the squishy of rhinos getting wiped out as well. It didn't matter if you were GOP and you were going up against a Democratic woman, and they were all going up against women. You were in trouble.
It really didn't matter in this particular election. It probably helped the fact that these were women, but from what I saw, it really didn't matter. It was if they were a Democrat versus Republican. The Democrat had their machines in place. They were full effect, full speed ahead. The Republicans had no machine at all. That's what it comes to.
It can't be. Just like you said, I don't think it's an accident, and I think it's these fluffy Ocasio types these Maxine Waters, these Kamala Harris wannabes that, that are elevating themselves, that are moving forward, moving in, like you said, get rid of the white guys in the Democratic Party, get more women, gender war elevated. I think that's exactly what's going on, Eugene. It was plotted. That's how the Democrats work. They plot out a plan and they go for it. This is the Women's March effect here in Texas. It's women, leftist, socialist, aggressive, angry women. That's who it is. And they made inroads, not to the extent of the 2010 Tea Party election, which we've never seen anything like that. And we need to remember that. Not even in comparison. But ground was lost. Significant ground was lost. And these leftist women were the ones that flexed the muscle. They got rid of men in their own party, and then they won. I mean, they came close in a bunch. I'm talking about 2 points, 3 points, 5 points, 4 points. I mean, close.
I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it. We won was nothing to brag about. And that's the part that irritates me when I listen to these party honchos talking about what we won and what we saved and all this. I'm like, look, man, you lost your shirt. Okay. The bottom line is, when you barely, you're supposed to be a red state and you can only win by 3% in the races you actually win, and then the rest of them you lost. Like, it's absurd. It's just absurd. Like I said, Claver, the bottom line is there has to be some honesty in the assessments of how we go forward, and these people have to be willing to deal with the fact that the activists, many of the activists, are right and follow our lead and not us follow them, because these guys, they don't know their butt holes from a hole in the ground. The bottom line is they're constantly making stupid decisions, making decisions based on feelings. This namby-pamby, Tiny Tim tiptoeing through the tulip kind of attitude as far as their approach doesn't work, man. Look, there's a reason. You don't have to go out here and intend to be offensive, but you just go out here and speak the truth and speak it with boldness, and people will listen to you. Talk like you have a brain in your head, and stop talking like you've been lobotomized and sent out there to just say stuff. The bottom line is Beto stood up there just like Obama and said nothing every time he spoke. But he said a whole lot of nothing so good till you can get a bunch of mind-numb people who don't pay attention to anything thinking that he's a great guy. Okay? You have to counter that. You counter it the same way, but you add substance to it. Trust me, you'll win every time.
They underestimated Obama after his 2004 speech at the Kerry Convention. 2 years later, he was in the Senate. 2 years later, he was taking the oath of office. Thanks a lot, Eugene. Eugene Ralph of Game Changers. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. Game Changers and the Texas Black Republicans and GameChangers.org. Eugene, what is the mission statement?
We're working to break the mental chains of progressivism with information, education, and activation.
Eugene Ralph is a Raging Elephants radio contributor. Talk to you next week, my brother. Thanks so much for your time.
God bless.
That's it, Saints and Patriots. I'm out of here. Once again, I thank you for your patience with the technical difficulties. See if I can try to get that straightened out. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. Thank you for joining me on RER Video YouTube channel, video stream. Check us out on Facebook. I'm the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome is going to be more leftist socialists. Vagina face puppet wearing women under the pink dome come January. Well, they're going to be calling me the Purifier too, I guess. From Houston, victorious 8-3 Houston Texans on a roll. May the Lord Jesus bless you, and the Lord Jesus bless the future independent sovereign republic of Texas.